Sup y'all, Winnie here. Today we're going to be checking out Organoid Organisms? The last two entries have been both Keter, so maybe this one will be safe or something. We haven't had a Euclid in a while. Hey! SCP-1429. All instances of 1429 are stored at Biosite 66 in Facility A-1429. 3 instances are to be kept in individually labeled vials in Containment Locker 1429. It is to be considered a Class 3 infectious disease. Ew. In the case of a broken container, all personnel are to restrict themselves to the area and call for the nearest recontainment team. Personnel assigned to 1429 are to be made aware that there is no way to detect it before manifestation, and they will be quarantined until an escape instance is recovered. No instance of 1429 is to be extracted except for approved testing. Test subjects for 1429 are to be kept in quarantine in specialized human containment suites for the duration of their infection. Upon the manifestation of B, human test subjects are to be terminated with minimal physical trauma and autopsied for study. When study of a given B appears unlikely to yield further useful information, instances to be destroyed and 1429 to be recovered. Testing is not to be undertaken without a secure enclosure prepared for any eventual instance of B. Enclosures must possess multiple angles of surveillance and a fresh water source. See Document 3A for full requirements. Is that document in here? We'll find out. SCP-1429 is a large luminescent amoeboid organism, approximately 5 millimeters in diameter, of fluorescent blue coloration and unknown origin, so it looks like the amoeba boys, but amoeba-sized. Currently, 9 instances of 1429 are in the Foundation's possession, and 1 has been destroyed through testing. After an incubation period, 1429 causes acute and variable mutation in human tissue. It does not share physical characteristics with any known terrestrial microorganisms and does not appear to have a detectable DNA structure. It does not appear to breed or multiply. Upon infection, an instance of 1429 will enter a human body painlessly through the skin and settle within a large internal organ, rooting itself and becoming effectively undetectable by conventional means. The time between infection and activation varies greatly, with test subjects displaying incubation times between 38 minutes and 8 months to 2 weeks. After this period of time, the instance of 1429 becomes active and causes a series of radical mutations to the infected organ through an unknown process. The organism produces a luminescent web of tissue similar to nervous tissue around itself, approximately 1 centimeter in diameter, somewhere within the mutated organ. Organs undergo genetic and morphological changes and become ambulatory, growing limbs and simple bodily systems of their own, effectively becoming independent organisms. These organisms are classified as B. 1429 will remain lodged within B until the latter's death, after which they will remain for a short period of time before escaping. Instances are capable of repeatedly infecting new hosts if given the opportunity. No 2 infections have had exactly the same result. Discovery. All instances of SCP-1429 were discovered after a series of outbreaks in the central United States over the course of 2 months. In total, 10 civilians had become infected, with 10 individual instances of 1429 and subsequently perished. As per protocol, a standard media purge was undertaken to contain public knowledge of the events. Additionally, the remains of civilian victims were retrieved and replaced with false bodies. Live and deceased wild instances of B were extracted and put in containment for study. During dissection, an instance of 1429 was recovered from each recovered instance of B. Research into the victims' personal histories revealed a shared skydiving trip approximately 22 days before the first death. Proposals concerning the examination of the Earth's upper atmosphere are pending. Select testing summaries. In 85% of test cases, the instance of B succeeded in exiting the host body, often by breaking through the skin. In 12% of cases, B remained trapped within the body and caused fatal internal damage to the host. The remaining 3% of tests yielded unique responses in subjects due to the placement of 1429 and the nature of the subsequent mutation. A selection of testing summaries has been compiled below. This list contains instances of B encountered through standard testing and not instances recovered from the field. Alright, so the first test: incubation 5 days, 4 hours, 3 days in the liver. Host collapsed in pain as organ began to ambulate violently. Organ tore skin and exited the torso before fully converting, causing a fatal internal and external trauma. B1 manifested 10 boneless legs of equal length and a simple gut with a beaked mouth replacing the hepatic vein. Instance is capable of herbivorous aquatic life in a freshwater environment. 19 days, 19 hours, 42 minutes in the small intestine. Host collapsed with sudden extreme nausea and vomited entire contents of bowel. Went into shock as intestine began to ambulate. Autopsy revealed significant internal bruising where the organ detached itself from blood vessels and digestive tract. 2 escaped through the host's mouth after its death by cardiac arrest. Upon expulsion, Instance had grown several dozen pairs of muscular lobed fins along its sides, as well as a toothed circular mouth on the front end. Later developed simple eyes and antennae along its back, Instance proved highly carnivorous and amphibious. 8 days, 1 hour, 7 minutes, right lung. Host began internal hemorrhage and suffocated as his left lung filled with blood. Autopsy released trap Instance of B. It escaped the thoracic cavity during autopsy. Instance had developed a simple muscular web over its surface and a pair of delicate webbed wings and was capable of limited jumping and gliding action. Accidentally destroyed by surprise coroner's aid as it leapt from the thoracic cavity. 28 days, 2 hours, and 58 minutes. Heart and circulatory system. Host collapsed from sudden cessation of blood pressure to the brain. Instance detached itself from the host and escaped through the navel, causing extreme damage to the thoracic cavity. 5 consisted of heart and a majority of the circulatory system. Instance possessed muscular webbing with a high level of articulation and larger veins and arteries. Finer veins and arteries apparently served as sensory organs. Instance was predatory, having developed a small beak within the interior vena cava and a simple gut. Hunted by ambushing prey, anchoring itself and ripping off pieces of flesh before fleeing. Due to the phenotypical similarities of 466, genetic material was compared between the 2 specimens and found to have multiple orthologous sequences, strongly indicating common ancestry. The credibility of this theory is currently unknown. Test 7, 22 hours and 37 minutes. The tongue. Host began producing inarticulate vocalizations and attempted to bite tongue off as B began to ambulate. Host was sedated to foster the remainder of the conversion, died of hemorrhage caused by B7 detaching itself. Damage inflicted by Host prevented the anterior half of 7 from completing conversion. Instance possessed 4 pairs of boneless muscular limbs and no other mutations. 82 days, 7 hours. The stomach. Host complained of unusually intense stomachache before vomiting blood, expiring from blood loss soon after. 8 escaped through the host's mouth. Instance developed several segmented muscular arms and a complex mandible complete with teeth. Instance is carnivorous and retained for study. See attached photo. There is no attached photo. 15 days, 6 hours, 11 minutes, left eye. Host complained of sudden blindness and pain around her eye. Within 4 minutes, ocular muscles had dislodged from the face and the Instance of B escaped the skull. Event proved non-fatal to Host. 11 possessed 3 two-jointed limbs which had erupted from its posterior. Instance dried out in 48 hours and perished with assistance. 13 months, 6 days, and 11 minutes. Nervous system. Host complained of hallucinations, both auditory and visual, and phantom pain in non-existent extremities. Was unable to clearly articulate the content of hallucinations, data redacted. Instance required outside assistance to escape Host. I wonder what or I guess they probably just decided to redact how the nervous system got out of the body, or what it did, because you probably wouldn't want to know what a nervous system does to somebody. But, as Euclid's go, I guess it could have been worse. But that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. Groovy? If you want to click the bell, you can do that as well, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.